What has the Pigford lawsuit done to me personally? Personally, I don't think I've ever had this much stress in my life. Starting in 2000, after the consent decree and fighting this and they taking it back, then my kidneys failed, so I went on dialysis and stayed on dialysis for 12 years. Then I was still having other problems, and so I developed glaucoma. So I eventually lost the vision in my left eye. Then when Calvin Hire decided he was going to go against whatever they were saying, it was going to foreclose on me. I ended up having a heart attack in 2008, and they put stents in my heart and everything, and then they came back, and after I had caught gangrene in my left leg and stayed in the hospital in and out of intensive care, they was trying to stop the gangrene from going up into my legs and everything. And I, being a diabetic, I could fast for 3 days and my blood sugar still stay over 200. And the doctor say there's something wrong with the stress because and your blood pressure can't stay under control, and it's causing the same problem with your eye pressure. So then I was amputated in this leg. And then finally I was amputated in the other leg, and all of the, I mean, there's so many of them that I didn't even keep up with them. And most blacks that was in this didn't make it, you know. I'm blessed by God because finally I realized I had to finally let it go to fight, you know. And so, but it had, my spirits is high, you know. I mean, you think about it. If I'm a double amputee, got a kidney transplant just, you know, years ago and all this and stuff, and I still got this beautiful black woman that want to marry me. Come on now, I mean, you know, God is good. You know, I mean, I'm too busy looking up to be looking down to feel sorry. I know what they did to me was wrong, you know, but it's gonna be all right. It's fine. I mean, it had, but my spirit, it got me one time when they amputated my last right leg, and I was in Phoenix City, Alabama, and I was having a pity party. And Lord, you know how, Lord, let's call on the Lord, and cried and carried on. The Lord blessed me that night. I had this dream. I was walking. That's it. I went down to physical therapy, boy, got to work. I said, I'm walking with both of these legs. And they said, and I mean, I was walking on both of my legs, prosthetics. And guess what? That dream became true. I mean, you know, so I'm good. I can drive my tractor, I can drive my truck, my car, I go to where I want to go, I do what I want to do. God has been really good to me. If we as black men and women wasn't this strong, you wouldn't make it. You really wouldn't make it, because when you are going for justice and you can't find no justice nowhere, you watching the white farmers, they file a complaint, it goes through USDA, they get a judgment, they back to working. We get one, they get tied up and get backlogged and all that, you know? And when we look at it, explain to me how we could have 50 plus black members in Congress and allow this to be happening to black men and women in their 70s, 80s, and 90 years of age. You know, how is it possible? How is it that we are so committed to the Democrats and Republicans or whoever, and everybody can get heard but us? You know, it amazes me that John Lewis can go down on the border praying. You need to come down here on my farm. If God's gonna hear me, you need to hear this prayer here. I think that the Pigford Legacy Farmers is to return to us the 1.5 million acres of land that USDA still got in foreclosure, still got an acceleration of collection of debts, and they need to set aside, as far as our injunctive release to make us whole, at least $30 to $40 billion. And they be entitled to go to the farmers and not to lawyers or to any other group, but to black farmers themselves. Miss Maddie Mack, from Brandenburg, Kentucky. And she was in one of those areas where the Klan and the Night Riders still had a strong presence there. But she was a beautiful black woman. And the last times I was talking to her, she was saying, "Well, Slaughter, this thing got to resolve. I hate to think about me leaving in my family in debt to USDA. I know what they're gonna do to my family. Break your heart." I mean, if you would just see her, she was beautiful, you know. When me and Harry Young out of Ownburg, Kentucky, and And I called, I said, hey, Harry, I got the thing in the mail, man. I saw how you was able to present that document to show that receipt that you had to pay for your land, you know, and that's $750 million worth of coal and oil reserve. And I said, man, I didn't know that you was the only black farmer in the country that had a license to actually distribute coal and oil, had his own distribution, but he had the license for it. And I said, man, that means it's gonna be a great day. And before he could get to court and get justice, he had died, he had transitioned. His son, I had his number, they moved completely out of the area because the good old boys in there, they still ascribe to, you know, we the strange fruit hanging on the tree. Roy Rowe from Ocala, Florida. Good brother. And he passed. And Roy had cattle, he really was doing some of everything, you know. L.C. Cooper. I mean, this guy here, you know, L.C. was from Warrenton, North Carolina. And he had a wife named Margaret. He calls her Lady Margaret. This black man in his 80s and 90s, I think he was about 90-something when he passed. This brother here was brilliant. He brought it to him on every level. You know, I won't never forget him as long as I live, you know. And when you go back and you think about all these other, I mean, I could go on and on here, you know. And one of the latest ones is Vernon Breckenridge, you know. And I hadn't heard from him in about 18 months, and I couldn't call him anymore because his wife said that this was the only thing that was occupying him. But he was strong. He told them all the stuff that they had done to him, and they made it very clear before we would pay him $2.2 million. What we're doing right now, dying out of it. And that's what happened. He died of it. He ain't, I hope he ain't, but that's what's happening. That's like right here. When I'm delinquent, Lucia's delinquent, all us are delinquent, all these hundreds of acres of land. And I mean, man, it goes, it don't stop. William Miller passed with 1,300 acres of land, you know. And I mean, if I had not known them personally, it wouldn't bother me so much, maybe. Maybe it wouldn't bother me so much. To know that I'm living in America, going into the 21st century, and knowing that equal justice under the law do not exist for the black and the poor in this country. You know, so I'm having to wake up to it every day, but I wake up with a good attitude, feeling good and feeling God, because I know, no lie, Dr. King says shall live forever, and truth that falls to the ground shall rise again. I believe in that, I really do, because what all I went through fighting USDA, 20-some years, they ain't got me yet, but they been shooting at me mighty hard. I've been so gracious to be able to duck, dodge, and roll and run. But man, there are some beautiful black people. I mean, there's, you know, over here right in Hawkinsville, Georgia, his name is Willie Gordon. He was raised on that farm from a little old boy. And so when he lost, he's still alive. He's 96 years old and got his good health, and he can tell you about all the stuff that went on with him. They took it from him, just took it from him, you know. And then when you understand that these people can come in and do this to you and you have no defense. I mean, I fought for a long time when I was younger. I need to go in there and set an example. Everybody going in there and making that. And I said, okay, devil, I know what you want to do. You know you ain't gonna survive, because when you once you start, you can't stop. So, but we have gone through something that to be able to tell this story, you know, we went with the NAACP in Baltimore, Maryland. I mean, we had convoys. We went up there for about 2-3 months straight to no avail. You know, there's just so many of them. I couldn't name all of them. I could go in there and pull out a list and look at them. And they just, you know, I knew these people. I knew them. They was like a mother, like fathers, like brothers, like sisters, you know. And all of us shared the same passion for the love of the land, you know. And it's something that you can't explain about the land, you know, that you have an attachment to it that when you go out there and you farming it and you producing, you know, it's been good. I was raised in Miami, Florida, but I knew I was coming back here. And when I came back, I didn't regret it. I thought I was coming back to farm, but I came back to fight. So I said it might have been, a blessing. We need to set up some kind of wall for all of these black farmers across the country. You know, I mean, I know some, and I'm talking about if y'all could ever have known a Matty Mac and to be a debtor slave, you know, that's something you don't want to hand down, you know. Yep. And even the point about learning how to till the soil, to learn how to harrow, barter ply, to learn how to plant and put in the crop. Man, and you working for yourself. Everybody say, hey man, that's hard work. Yeah, but you rest easy at night. Am I in touch with Pigford farmers, and how do we support one another? We're on the phone all the time doing it, but right now, we have in the morning, 5 o'clock, around that time, Lucius Abrams from Keysville, Georgia, will call Florine Watson in New York. She would call down here to me. Then I would call over to North Carolina to Cecil Brewington. Then Cecil would call Carl Parker. Carl would call Dexter Davis in Louisiana. And each time, if the last person we call one, we can all have this prayer. It used to be real large, but over the years, it's done dwindled down to maybe only about 13 or 14 us now.